West Village, Chelsea, Hell's Kitchen, Times Square, love it or hate it, it's certainly what you identify New York with. So there's a lot of the sort of touchstones of what makes New York, New York.
The demographic is changing. It is trending away from a lot of the traditional minorities that have lived over here in the Hell's Kitchen area. Chelsea happens to have the largest concentration of galleries in New York City. Still some small mom and pops, people trying to make it on their own. And then you happen to have the huge conglomerates. You have Google. To our east, there is a ton of theater. It's New York. So we've got pretty much everything here, and this district is representative of that.
A lot of parts of the city that people really, really want to live in, that until not that long ago were somewhat affordable, but have become dramatically less so in recent years. How do we keep these neighborhoods that are so close to the center of everything feeling like neighborhoods and not just an extension of Midtown or Times Square?
The difficult part about the neighborhood and serving the neighborhood is that it's very diverse and that there are these hidden pockets of poverty throughout the neighborhood, and they're invisible populations. People don't necessarily see that there are seniors living in walk-up tenement buildings or families that are still struggling in the neighborhood.
One of the main issues that we have is affordable housing. We try to work very much with the developers coming in to ensure that there is a wide range of income bands that are supported in affordable housing, so that it's not just the lowest of the low that have an opportunity, but you have those middle income folks in that workforce income band, firefighters, police, teachers, so that they can also be a part of the neighborhood.
There's really just not a lot of affordable areas. It's either the smaller rent-stabilized apartments or the much more expensive apartment buildings that are going on. I think the families are still struggling to either stay in the apartments in which they're in, or we're seeing a lot of families struggle to even maintain their own family within this neighborhood because just their everyday necessities can't be met on their current income. Traffic is really, really out of control in the neighborhood. The bicycle lanes are good for what they are, but it does cause a lot of congestion, so it's narrowed ninth, so we have a lot more traffic.
Some of the city's largest and oldest landmark districts are in Council District 3. The city has maybe been a little too lax in doing that, and that the protections that used to come along with being landmarked and being in a historic district are not really as strong as they used to be. So whether it's in the Meatpacking District or the West Village or Chelsea, in recent years that there's been a big hue and cry over decisions the city's Landmarks Preservation Commission has made, and the city council member is definitely front and center in those debates. So the Hudson Yards is going to be the largest development ever on Earth, and that's going to bring thousands and thousands and thousands more people in and out of that neighborhood. They extended the 7, but that's really just one line that's going to supposed to accommodate many, many, many thousands of people.
I want open communication. I'd want someone to come here from the very beginning of their term and to sit down and have an open dialogue about what the problems are. Not everyone plays together in the neighborhood. There are the larger real estate developers, some in which we have really great relationships with, but there are some that are new to the neighborhood that are taking stock and building in our neighborhood, but they're not really playing fairly, so to speak.
One of the trends is to try to implement a lot of legislation that works across the entire city. That doesn't apply to these areas of Manhattan. So I think it's important that the council person is very much entrenched in the local issues.
A representative for City Council District 3 has to be somebody who's really smart and knows the system, because you were representing what a lot of people consider some of the most valuable real estate in the world, but the people who live there just call it their neighborhood. Traditionally, the representative of the 3rd Council District is probably the leading voice on the City Council around lesbian and gay issues. Certainly they're expected to be champions around immigrant rights and workers' rights. There's an expectation that the 3rd Council member is going to be a real progressive advocate and a real progressive voice.